The Los Alamos National Lab wants to keep the booms coming. The lab has been blowing up waste, high explosives, for years.
And now it's supplying to the state in order to continue blowing all that stuff up safely. News 13 Scotty Daniels is here with that.
It's really a sight to see the explosion of an old test weapon with the mountains of Los Alamos in the background. It happens all the time at the two remote sites of the Los Alamos Lab property.
3, 2, 1.
That used to be 85 pounds of something that could kill you.
It consists of our insensitive high explosive, triamino trinitrobenzene, and a 5% binder, KLF 800 by weight.
Los Alamos was the first lab to harness the atom in the 40s. Today they detonate waste from old experiments.
Understand what happens when we compress it, when we pull on it, when we insult it, say for example by shooting a bullet into it, so that we would understand what the response of that material would be to those kinds of insults. About 30 times a year the lab sets off smaller explosions on its open land. The waist-high explosives could be dangerous if they just sit around. They call it a waist-high explosion, but it leaves a hole chest-high. It's supposed to leave nothing, but it leaves more than nothing. To prove to the state they continue the safe protocol, Los Alamos is applying to the New Mexico Environmental Department to continue doing this for 10 more years. Up until now, the lab has been blowing up the waste on an interim basis. The lab is willing to add further regulations to continue. One restriction is the maximum of 15,000 pounds in a year. Another is that we couldn't detonate except for half hour after sunrise, half hour before sunset. We would follow all safety protocols.
There have been suggestions of changing locations or to blow them up in a vessel, but lab officials say it's not cheap for taxpayers and not safe for the environment.
Treating the material on site, we avoid having to transport it over public roads. We keep it internal to Los Alamos. We have trained experts that actually set up and execute the shot, and it minimizes the amount of handling that has to take place.
The only evidence left now is a giant hole in the ground and the cloud of smoke in the sky. The herd of elk you saw that live on the land, the lab does testing on the vegetation and the animals to ensure everything is safe for them. Back to you.
Scotty, Los Alamos is seeking public opinion on this way of eliminating waste. If you live in the area and you want to make a suggestion, contact the State Environmental Department. A link to that